soil system, effectively draining the sinkhole, leaving behind a rich, mucky soil. Perfect conditions for his favorite hobby, gardening. Living a good life with lots of luck in the Florida real estate world, the Turners were doing well. However, after a series of hurricanes and freezes in the area and the downturn of the real estate business in 1926, the Turners were soon left with just the garden. And to make ends meet, they opened a fruit and vegetable stand. Soon, neighbors began to stroll through George's tropical garden, enjoying an array of plants from around the world. In 1934, Mr. Turner began charging 15 cents to enter his subtropical paradise of royal palms, banana trees, coffee plants, and more. It's hard to imagine the old sinkhole site would become a natural paradise. For 3 generations, the Turners ran Sunken Gardens for almost a century, building a world-renowned attraction complete with beauty contests, celebrities, models, flamingos, and other exotic animals. A lot can happen in 100 years. Freezes, economic downturns, and a breed of new amusement parks opening close by. So, in 1989, the Turner grandsons put Sunken Gardens up for sale. And 10 years later, the residents of St. Petersburg voted for a one-time tax increase so the city itself could purchase the gardens. This tropical oasis still stands as one of Florida's oldest and last remaining roadside attractions. Thanks to generations of the Turner family's dedication, a community grassroots effort, and a bit of luck.
How would you write a love letter to your city? The Sunshine City Mosaic is that love letter. The mosaic celebrates so much of why so many find St. Pete an awesome place to call home.
3, 2, 1.
Today was the unveiling and the grand opening of the Sunshine City Mosaic. The Sunshine City Mosaic is comprised of 9 different unique vignettes that celebrate our native Florida wildlife. It tells the story of the sunrise on Tampa Bay to the sunset out on the beaches.
It's the longest mosaic in Florida, 175 feet long, 750 square feet, 15,000 pieces, 3 artists. 931 days from the signing of the contract to today. There's really no words for today, for finishing it. It is now out in the world. We did what we could, and it is not ours any longer. It is everyone else's.
I had the opportunity to visit this mosaic one late afternoon around 5 p.m. in the middle of the summer. It didn't take long to realize what a true labor of love this project has been. What I remember most is my children running along the tiles, crouching down to examine the tiniest of details, tracing the shapes of the animals, with their fingers laughing and smiling as they explored and discovered. To them, nothing else mattered except the art beneath their feet. To me, that's what public art is all about. Capturing attention, sparking curiosity, and nurturing imagination.
Art is for our entire city, and we want it to be in every corner of the city, not just downtown. And that is our approach to inclusive progress for everyone. Everyone ought to be able to enjoy the best of St. Pete right in your neighborhood.
I hope that It may not be obvious at first, but after spending some time with it, kind of do notice the underlying story of the east side versus the west side, and the different motifs that really point towards the unique ecological situation that we have here in our county.
What makes Florida so special is our ecology, is our water, is all of these wild and beautiful animals we have just right out in the bay. So I hope each and every person walks along this sidewalk, takes a moment to meditate and reflect on that, and that impacts their future decisions. That to me is really the power of public art.
Today we're cutting the ribbon on a building, but what we're really celebrating is a major step forward in the city of St. Petersburg. Our first purpose-built, nationally accredited environmental compliance laboratory.
This has been years in the making. Our original water laboratory was in a repurposed metal building. It wasn't designed for the purpose of being a laboratory. You've got to think of humidity and air temperature. You've got to think of air control. You don't want to contaminate the samples. And so we have a brand new building that's been designed to be used as a laboratory, but it was also designed to withstand hurricanes. It operates through a storm, and that's really important so we can get our systems back up and running.
It's so neat to see what they're doing. I mean, you're talking about drinking water, beach water, storm water, essentially any water that comes through the city, they're testing, because not only are they worried about what's coming in contact with us, they're worried about the environment too. I mean, it's just a massive project. It's a massive undertaking, and the work they're doing is just so important.
This lab provides analytical results to the Hillsborough Health Department, Pinellas County Health Department. We provide a regional benefit. We ensure that we're providing the results that are of the highest quality standard.
We take our water for granted. We take the fact that the water is safe to use for granted. So much work that goes into making sure that it is safe to use. And so that's why this is important to each and every one of us, because that water that we are using every morning has been tested to verify that it is safe for your use.
Our team is mission focused, and every day they come here as residents knowing what this water means to the community. This is the lifeblood of the community, and they are focused on ensuring that it is of the highest quality that is possible.
That was good. Good morning. Welcome to the best week of the year in St. Petersburg. Absolutely. Without question, this is the best week in St. Pete. My name is Sean Druin, and I am pumped to be your MC today, surrounded by champions, local champions, national champions, international champions. If this doesn't get you fired up, I'm not sure anything will. This is the point in the speech where I bring up our weather. So you see exactly who I'm looking at. We'll be at the chamber here in a little bit. But I'm going to take the Kevin Savory approach. Last night we were at the track, and he was very matter of fact. He said, nope, we're going to have a great race Friday. He said the R word Friday night. Saturday is going to be great for the inaugural trucks, and Sunday is going to be incredible for the 22nd running of the IndyCar. And so I wholeheartedly believe in the Kevin Savory approach, and he's going to be spot on. It will not R word, and it's going to be absolutely amazing. So, yeah. There's someone else that gets equally as pumped up about this. This is his 5th time now being right here at this podium, and every year when we talk, I think he gets more and more excited. He is really jacked up about these trucks. We don't have motorcycle racing on the track yet, Mayor, but maybe one day, So please join me in welcoming our mayor, Mayor Kenneth T. Welch.
Thank you, Sean. Did y'all see Sean's red shoes? I think everybody needs a pair of those red shoes, man. Looking good. Good morning, St. Pete. We feel the need for speed. We are fired up and ready for the Firestone Grand Prix, which is one of the most exciting traditions in our city. It's a weekend of events that bring energy, international visitors, and a spotlight to our beautiful downtown and waterfront. And in addition to Kevin's guarantee, Chair Hanowitz and Council have guaranteed we're going to have good weather on Saturday, so we know that's going to happen. My thanks to Kim and Kevin and to the Green Savory Racing Promotions for bringing this race to St. Petersburg for over 2 decades now. Your partnership has helped make the Grand Prix a signature event that reflects the vibrancy and momentum of our great city. It's also great to see a familiar face in our own Nikita Johnson, who's joining us once again. Y'all show Nikita some love. Nikita, you've grown up with this event, and we're proud to watch you continue to rise through the ranks. We look forward to cheering you on. We're also equally proud of another hometown driver, Ryan Leach. Ryan? Man, they look so young. Or I'm feeling so old. Who's racing the Mazda MX-5 Cup. Both of you show our young people what dedication, opportunity, and hard work can lead to, and we're so proud of you. One of the best things about the Grand Prix is the number of people that it attracts to our city year after year and the economic impact of those visits. Those visitors and their support for our local businesses generate about $60 million in economic impact for the city of St. Pete. That's real support for our restaurants, hotels, shops, and our employees. St. Pete is excited about our partnership with IndyCar and proud to be the place where NTT IndyCar Series season begins every year. And as Sean said, this year brings something new. For the first time ever, the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series will be racing through the streets of St. Petersburg. We're excited to welcome NASCAR teams, drivers, and fans to our city and add another layer of excitement to an already incredible weekend in St. Petersburg. We also send a warm welcome to the millions of fans who will be watching the live national broadcast on Sunday. The city is ready. Let's give a shout out to our city team for getting the track ready in record time. As always, Tony Lino and the team, all of our administrations who help out in making that happen. The race teams, especially the drivers, are ready, and all that is left is to raise the Firestone Grand Prix flag and say, drivers, start your engines. Now join me in welcoming Council Chair Lisette Hanowitz to the podium. Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning, everyone. There is nothing quite like the Grand Prix week here in St. Petersburg. For 22 years, this event has transformed our downtown into one of the most exciting street circuits anywhere in the world. And every single year, it still gives you that same rush. I love the speed, the energy, the excitement. But what truly makes this weekend incredible is the transformation. On any other weekend, you'll walk along our waterfront parks, you're visiting markets and festivals, you're watching planes take off from Albert Whitted, you're heading to the Mahaffey for a show or stopping by the Dali Museum. You look over Tampa Bay and see the sunshine dancing over the water, and it better be happening this weekend because the R is not happening. And then almost overnight, it becomes a racetrack. Concrete barriers rise, grandstands go up, the streets close, and suddenly the racing world is watching St. Petersburg. You can stand in the exact same place and not even recognize it. That happens here because St. Petersburg believes in bold ideas. And when partners, planners, and this community come together, we can turn one of the most beautiful urban waterfronts in America into a global motorsports destination. To the drivers, teams, and sponsors who have traveled here from near and far, welcome to St. Petersburg. We are proud to host you, and we hope you experience the spirit of our city when you are here. To last year's winner, Alex Palau, felicidades and welcome back. We're glad to see you return and defend your title. And to the Green Savory team and our outstanding city staff, thank you. This event takes vision, coordination, and an incredible amount of work, and you deliver it year after year. However, sometimes the future of racing doesn't just come to St. Petersburg, it comes from St. Pete. So it is my honor to introduce St. Petersburg's own Nikita Johnson. A hometown talent with an impressive international racing resume, competing in the Indy Next by Firestone Series, the final step to the road of IndyCar. He represents dedication, discipline, and the courage to chase big dreams. And he represents our city in the national stage, St. Petersburg. Please help me welcome Nikita Johnson.
Thank you everyone for being here. I mean, it means a lot. This is my 4th year doing the flag raising and racing in the St. Petersburg Grand Prix. Obviously now I stepped up another class, so that's very cool. But I want to thank Mayor Welch for everything that he does for the city, and then also with the Grand Prix, also Green Savoy Racing. I mean, every single year I come here, I just feel like it's getting better and better, and it's just an incredible race. It's my favorite on the calendar, so yeah, with that, I want to thank all the workers and everybody part of the track build, everybody that just comes together and makes this possible. I mean, we couldn't do it without them, and it's just such a great event to be here and be a part of. So just want to thank everybody for coming out, have fun, come out, watch on Saturday, Sunday, and yeah, watch some fast cars go around. Thank you, everyone.
It's awesome to watch someone like Nikita. You know, I think 4 years ago he was 13 or 14, and the running joke was like, how can you drive 100 miles an hour and you can't even legally drive on our roads? Like, we were just perplexed. He's 13 and 14 winning races and can't actually drive. So we're like proud aunts and uncles watching him, you know, win races, and I'm checking Instagram and checking to see like how good Nikita does, and so keep making us proud, my friend. All right, we have another hometown driver, which is so awesome. Ryan Leach, come on up. He's a proud resident of St. Pete. He's in the Mazda. He's being sponsored by our friends over at Power Design, another incredible partner of ours. Ryan's story is one of determination, resiliency, and a little bit of moxie. So I'll let you hear from Ryan.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Yeah, I'm just super grateful to be here. I definitely would not be here without Power Design, so I got to give all the thanks to them. I also want to give thanks to the entire city, the mayor, Kim and Kevin, Steve, really everybody who helps put this event together. I know it's a lot of work, but I think it's well worth it. So look forward to seeing everybody out at the races this weekend, and yeah, I think it's going to be a great one.
Again, look up his story. I was doing some research, and it's a pretty incredible story of where he's come from and where he is today. So we mentioned earlier, this race would not be possible without the hundreds of employees that make this possible. Shout out to our guiding light, Tony Lino, wherever he's at. 22 years and counting. Man, he keeps us going. Beth, who tries to keep us in line as best as she can. She checks in daily to keep us going. The Greg Mitchells, the Andy Cheese of the world, this would not be possible without the team. So shout out to the team. It wouldn't be possible, obviously, without that, but we have the best promoters in all of sports, all of racing, I don't care. And what makes them so special is they put their money where their mouth is, and they literally raise money and give it back to our programs, to PAL, to other programs. They're about building a legacy that their children are proud of and our children are proud of. So these guys listen to us. They're part of the chaos that we bring, and I think they bring a little chaos to us too, but we welcome with open arms. So please join me in welcoming our dear friends from Green Savary Racing, Kim Green and or Kevin Savary.
I don't know who's...
Rock, paper, scissors.
I guess I lost. No, I don't know. Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. And, you know, it just seems like yesterday we were here negotiating to bring a car race to St. Petersburg. And, you know, Beth has a different role now, but way back then she was still a part of it. So, Beth, so thankful for you to be a part of it now. And, you know, again, Tony as well from day one. It's just so many relationships that Kim and I have developed down here, and just so proud to be a part of this community. But, you more so, I think, they mentioned Kim and I's participation with Police Athletic League and giving back to kids that, obviously are going to be a bigger and bigger part of this community going forward, and we're so proud of that. And having said that, obviously we've got some community events this afternoon with the Party in the Park and the 5K, and literally the 5K sold out this year, so we're really thrilled about that, which means Kim and Kevin are going to write a bigger check to PAL, which, as a bean counter, that drives me crazy, but it's going to a good cause. So anyway, we'll look forward to that on Sunday morning. But I think for us, one of the things we feel really strongly about is the enhancements that we're bringing to the fan experience this year. So Green Savory invested this past year in some enhanced grandstands, and then also we brought a lot more video boards. So Kim and I made an investment in those, and I think that's going to enhance the fan experience. So I don't think you can go very far without seeing a video board, and we're trying to create fan zones where there's food, there's drink, a video board, and you don't have to have a grandstand seat. You can be a general admission fan and still have a great experience. So we're really, really looking forward to that. And obviously, the thing that this is all about are the race car drivers in the series. And, so thrilled this year not only to have IndyCar leading off its season, but also the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And so excited about that. First time that they've ever been on the city streets. And I'm telling you, they're going to put on a hell of a show. And rain or shine, which, again, it's going to be shine. We all know. This is not the Sunshine City for nothing. So, again, we're going to be fine. And, again, I think, just so exciting to see that. And to me, for the city to have literally 2.5 hours of Fox prime time on Saturday and 2.5 hours of Fox prime time on Sunday, so excited for that and the ROI that's going to create not only for the city and the Convention and Visitors Bureau, but also, again, for our great sponsors. And they're the ones that, really allow Kim and I to make our dreams come true, and for those dreams to come true here in St. Pete. Just again, thank you to everyone. Obviously, we thank Tony and Beth and again, the police, the fire. We just ask them, can you help us do this? Can you help us do that? And they just always step in and it's not how, it's, yep, we'll take care of that. So again, a big thank you to everyone that helps make that happen. And again, just looking forward to get the weekend started, and we'll see you out there. Thanks so much.
All right, let's hear from our IndyCar president. Y'all make some noise for Doug Bowles. There he is.
Had to put my good St. Petersburg coffee down there. Mayor, Madam Chair, council members, first responders, everybody that works for the city, and mostly the residents of St. Petersburg, thank you so much for kicking the IndyCar season off every year. Kim and Kevin are great partners with us and obviously great partners with you, and this has become a huge tradition. I was thinking last night when I arrived here, over the 22 races that have been here, I think I'm probably on average 4 nights that I spend in St. Petersburg. So if you look at that, it's almost 3 months of my life. So I'm not truly a resident, but I feel like it. And to watch this city grow over the last two decades, this is such an amazing city, and it's such a great place for us to kick off the NTT IndyCar Series. I know our drivers love coming down here. They bring a lot of their fans. They bring a lot of their partners. This is a big event for us. In fact, I think we talked a little bit about how big this can be for the economy, not just the people that come for the race, but what they do when they're here. And most of us that come here, we have places that we go eat, and we do those kind of traditional things. My wife comes down. There's a really cool boutique here. She plans out all of the special events we've got for the whole year and buys all her stuff here in St. Petersburg. I broke a pair of glasses yesterday. I'm seeing an eye doctor in St. Petersburg this afternoon to get some new glasses. So we do more than just spend money in the restaurants. We spend money in the community. And this really does feel like a second home to those of us in Indianapolis because of the way that it kicks the season off, but mostly because of the way that all of you embrace us. We feel like this is an event. When we look at our 18-race schedule, What we really want is not just races, we want races that are events. And this is a perfect example of something that's much more than a race. And when you have promoters who give back to the community as well, that's what makes it so special. And that's the heart of Kim and Kevin, is not just putting on a great race, but putting on a great race as great neighbors and giving back to the community here. And your community embraces us, and it really means a whole ton to us. Last year, though, the season started out pretty cool for a guy by the name of Alex Palou, but for the remainder of the series competitors, they didn't like it because it was just the beginning of what was going to be one of the most dominant racing seasons that an IndyCar driver has seen for almost 50 years. Alex Palou went on to win another championship. He went on to finally win the Indianapolis 500. And he's back here to defend that championship. And the question that everybody has in the NTT IndyCar Series is, can Alex Palou continue the Alex Palou from 2025 into 2026? There will be 24 drivers who will be trying to make sure that that is not the case. But there is one driver that if you had to bet on somebody who's going to be successful, I would put all my money on Alex Palou. Alex Palou is an unbelievable race car driver. More importantly, he's also another guy with a huge heart. He's a family man. He loves our series. He loves coming here. Ladies and gentlemen, your defending champion, multi-time NTT IndyCar champion, and last year's Indianapolis 500 champion, Alex Palou.
Well, that's a great introduction. Thank you. I didn't expect that, but thank you all for being here. I'm so happy to finally kick our 2026 season here in St. Pete. We have, as a driver, you want to be competing every single weekend, but our season, we're talking about it, it's long. Although we're very busy, it's long, and finally here, it's when we get to go racing, we get to compete with other teams, other drivers, and our team. So we've been preparing a lot to try and continue what we started here last year with an amazing season. We know, as Doug said, there's another 25 drivers and 10 teams that are just trying to beat that number 10 Chip Ganassi racing car. But we've been working hard to try and still keep on that performance. But most than anything, I'm just excited to get the season started here in St. Pete, one of my favorite tracks, and for sure my favorite weather. So yeah, cannot wait to get started and to have a great weekend. I hope everybody enjoys. Thank you for all the city and everybody that is making sure that we have such a great event, such a great track as well, with the grandstands, the fans that are so close to us, the drivers. So cannot wait to get racing tomorrow when we start in practice, and then excited to see the track race as well. I think it's going to be very exciting to see, but most than anything, the IndyCar race on Sunday. Thank you.
I'm glad soon-to-be resident Doug brought up the dominance of Alex because I'm a sports nut, so I equated that into some numbers. So Alex won or was on the podium 13 of 17 races last year. So to put that in perspective, he was more likely to win a race or be on the podium than it was for Wayne Gretzky to score a goal in an NHL game. He was more likely to win a race, be on the podium, than it was for Michael Jordan to make a shot or Steph Curry to make a three-pointer. He was more likely to win a race or be on a podium than it was for Tom Brady to complete a pass, for Nolan Ryan to get a strikeout, or for Messi to get a shot on target. Not a shot, not a goal, but just to get a shot on target. He was more likely to win a race or be on the podium than any of those things. That's what he did in 2025. Let's hear for Alex Palou. But that has nothing to do with 2026. So we will see what you do this year, my friend. Just saying. All right, let's wrap this thing up. So this race is so much more than just fast cars. It's about building core memories. It's families coming together. It's spending time with loved ones. It's showing the world who St. Petersburg is. Every year I get to walk around and talk to people, and more now you see families, and it's a young father, a young mother saying, I came here when I was a kid, and now I'm getting to do that with my children. So this is a generational event. It's not just a racing event or a car event. It's becoming a generational event for families to build core memories. I think that's something that we can all be very, very proud of. So with that being said, let's do what we all came here to do. Let's raise that flag. Thanks for being here.
We're going to strike this. We'll do a photo. That's pretty impressive.
I think you.
Yeah, right.
Dear reader, you are loved more than you know.
Keep smiling and shining and being who you are.
The world is lucky to have you.
Happy Pride to you. Celebrate like you should.
Life would be dull without you in it.
Keep shining bright.
Sunshine face.
You are so loved. Do not let anyone ever tell you different.
St. Pete loves you.
We need you. We appreciate you. Thank you for being you.
You are beautiful just as you are, and you make our city more beautiful because you are a part of it.
You make the world more colorful.
You make the world brighter.
Never give up. You are loved for exactly
Who you are. I promise. The world needs you in it.
Hey St. Pete, and welcome to the definitive guide for how to be the best president you can be. A little tip from your good neighbor guide. It's time to talk some trash. Well, not really, but we are talking about waste here. We all have waste, and so what we do with it is super important. Let's break it down. The good, the bad, the do's, and don'ts. The city works around the clock to dispose of our various waste, so let's do our part by being a good neighbor. So, when it comes to your trash collection day, remember, place your container with the lid opening facing the street by 7 a.m. And don't forget, remove your container from the curb by 7 p.m. later that day. Here's what not to put in your container: appliances, furniture, and any hazardous materials, such as batteries, paint, electronics, and more. But there's good news, people. The city will pick up the following items for free. Box springs, footboards, refrigerators, car batteries, fuel tanks, sofas, car tires, headboards, stoves, dishwashers, mattresses, washers, doors, nightstands, water heaters, dryers, ovens, and windows. There's a super helpful link on the bottom of this screen that will give you more details on special pickups. Yard project got you loaded with yard waste? No worries. We've got you covered with 5 brush sites around the city. St. Pete residents can drop off yard waste and other organic byproducts for free. You just have to show proof of city residency like a driver's license or utility bill. Just remember, yard waste must not contain plastics or metal. Limbs and logs should be less than 5 feet long, and tree stumps should weigh less than 300 pounds. While we're here, let's cover recycling, because eliminating waste is the right thing to do. Let's break down what the City of St. Pete recycles. Here's what to recycle: aluminum and steel cans and lids, cardboard, glass containers, milk and juice cartons, all paper materials, plastics labeled number 1 through 7, and plastic cups and bottles. What isn't recyclable? Ceramics, electronics, flimsy plastic like food wrap, anything tainted by food, think pizza box. Light bulbs, batteries, mirrors, plastic bags, or styrofoam. One more time for the people in the back. No plastic bags in the recycling bin. Thank you. There's a printable Good Neighbor Guide and a whole bunch more information on this topic that can be found on the City of St. Petersburg's website. The St. Pete Collects app is also a super convenient way to help you with all your waste matter questions and schedules. Join us in the road to zero. St. Pete's plan to be zero waste by 2050. And remember the 6 R's: Refuse, reduce, repair, reuse, recycle, and rot. This stuff is so easy, a kid could do it. We all love our city, so let's do our part by following St. Pete's Good Neighbor Guide.
First storm that came through, we actually got 5.5 feet, almost 6 feet of storm surge. It did submerge my garage completely, and it was white capping into my neighbors' homes. I was very blessed and fortunate. Yes, I had to replace the roof, I had to redo the garage and the electrical, but that's nothing compared to the neighbors that were displaced. Being able to stand there and say, you work on your home, I'll work on the street, I'll work on the neighborhood, I'll work on the community for you, I think has been really beneficial. I think the city's finally taken it seriously. In 5 years, we are going to get very much needed infrastructure, at least in this area. And in the meantime, the city's working to do smaller projects. So I'm working with the Alley Works director, and we're going to start redoing some of the alleys in the area, which will definitely help with the grading of the stormwater. I will say the community here is phenomenal. Hey, Eugene, how you doing? All right, sounds good. I don't want my community or my street to achieve better without helping the street next to us. We're all in this together, so I think that's something to remember, just kindness, and I think that's why we've been able to get this small little neighborhood on the map for future improvements.
District 8 is located from the interstate to Tyrone Boulevard and runs north to south from Central Avenue to 40th Avenue North. I'm Richie Floyd, your council member for District 8. I'm standing along the shores of Jorgensen Lake Park, located directly behind our main public library, a place where students and residents throughout our city have visited and utilized over the decades and still frequent to this day. The newly renovated President Barack Obama Main Library will be an impressive, well-known asset to all in our community. Another major landmark in District 8 is St. Pete High. This highly rated school, built back in 1926, has served as a campus for generations of Green Devils in the Sunshine City. You haven't experienced all of St. Pete if you haven't stopped by Mazzaro's Italian Market. This true Italian market serves as a destination for lunch, fresh roasted coffee and beverages, and homemade pasta. District 8 is also home to one of our best business districts, Grand Central, with plenty of places to eat and shop. Grand Central was also the birthplace of St. Pete Pride and the Pride Parade, and still plays a role in our city's annual Pride events. If you're looking to escape the grind of the city, this district also features several city parks, including Gladden Park and Booker Creek Park, which includes new pickleball courts. District 8 has the right mix of people, neighborhoods, parks, shopping, and culture. In a lot of ways, it's the best representation of what St. Pete is all about.
Growing up, one of my biggest female role models was my grandmother. My grandmother was an incredible woman. She was hardworking, she was kind, she was sweet, but she was tough. And she really taught me from a very, very young age how important it is not only to work hard for everything that you want, but once you achieve those things, to give back to others.
When you look at who did I look up to, I have to say my mother was definitely the primary one, because she was actually able to take so little and provide so much. She taught me what fortitude was. She taught me what commitment was.
Even in this day and age, it can be really tough for women who are, aspiring to achieve their career goals or their own personal goals for their life. For those of us who are at this level, who have, accomplish some of our goals in life, we have kind of a responsibility to reach our hand out to that next young woman, grab her hand and pull her along.
Well, I think growing up, children learn from those who are around them. And even as they're babies, they mimic everything that their parents do and what they teach them. And I think having the positive role models that are necessary to make the right choices in life, role models are helpful.
Well, really, I think the sky's the limit when it comes to female leadership in our city. I think there is a day when we will have a woman in the mayor's office.
The future of female leadership in St. Petersburg is awesome. It looks bright. I am so encouraged. We take a lot of our lived experiences and we apply logical applications to making decisions.
I'm inspired and encouraged by the number of young women who are rolling up their sleeves, getting involved in their communities, and really stepping up to be true leaders.
There was a time where it was, when is there going to be the first female on city council? Then we got to, there's a supermajority of women on city council. And I think that question in terms of whether or not women can be a part of our city and whatever leadership position isn't a question anymore. Women do lead.
Women have such an important role in our culture.
And the future of the women in St. Pete has never felt brighter.
Mentor a young lady or find a mentor for yourself.
Be sure to honor the women in your life this month and every month.
I'm Jean Ordner, Parking Enforcement Officer. We're here to keep the traffic moving. That's our goal. Yes, we write parking tickets, but we really just want to keep the parking spaces open for everybody to patronize the businesses. If we weren't here, there'd be no parking ever. I mean, you gotta have some kind of compassion. You can't just be out there and hit them hard. If it's you and your vehicle's first ticket and you've spent $25 or more at a downtown business the same day as the ticket, you can get it voided. They'll ask you to bring in a copy of your receipt, your driver's license to the 301 Central, and they'll take care of it from there. Everybody makes mistakes. We want to have compassion for these people. For instance, if they have a discharge paper from the emergency room with their name on it with the date and time of the ticket, yes, they can get it voided also that way. One lady went in, she was in labor and her husband parked. Well, we voided his ticket too because he was there for the birth of his child. So it's situation upon situation, but most of the time if they have discharge papers and they can prove it, it's usually voided. We know it's an inconvenience to get a ticket and it's kind of aggravating, but in the long run it goes to a good cause because it gives the city money to comply with ADA compliances, the sidewalks and all that good stuff to fix them and everything else. And then another portion goes to school crossing guards so we can make sure that every school has them. I've had a lot of positive interactions. For instance, sometimes I go down to the dog park in the afternoon to give the dogs treats. I enjoy interacting with the different people. I know a lot of the different restaurant owners, so just interacting with different people on a day-to-day basis. We're not out there to necessarily give the tickets, we would rather them move. And that's the most important thing is we want people to be able to come down and patronize a business without having to worry about parking. If we weren't here, that nobody would ever find a parking space. They would park there and they'd stay. They wouldn't move. So then if you want to go to a specific restaurant, you can't go because that parking's full all day. We're there for a reason.
The Pinellas Trail is probably the best way I've found to get all over the county without worrying about traffic or my pace. It's just a way to get around and have fun.
So in the spring, say on a weekend, on a Sunday, you'd find lots of folks out just walking, biking, just really enjoying the weather.
So the trail starts downtown by the water, and it goes all the way to Tarpon Springs, if I'm not mistaken. And I like it because it kind of cuts back behind the neighborhoods. There's murals, there's tree coverage, and it just kind of winds through the most beautiful parts of the city.
It's an awesome engineering feat, and it dissects the middle of an urban city, and at the same time, you feel like you're off to yourself. You're a little bit secluded, ample places for you to run, ride, and even collect your thoughts.
It's pretty quiet and peaceful. Quiet in the sense that there's typically during the day a lot of users on the trail, so you're never by yourself, but everybody's kind of in their own world, so it's not a lot of noise.
We were looking for a place that would be a hub for a healthy and active community, and one of the big things we wanted here was to have a place where people could run and walk right near our location. Pinellas Trail, which is right behind our facility, turned out to be the perfect location.
We do lots of events here at the store. We do probably about 100 free community group runs from here where we're using the trail.
Have a great walk, have a great run, guys.
The running community in St. Pete is so supportive and so encouraging of all of the runners, no matter your pace. Everybody's just encouraging you along the way. And so when I went to my first group run, I invited my mom to come and do an evening walk with me, and that became part of our weekly routine, particularly in the spring.
We do 2 runs a week, Monday and Thursdays, where we're running on the trail. So that's 100 times every year right there that we're out running on the trail with a group of people.
I retired from Pinellas County in urban planning, and so I was involved in the initial planning for the Pinellas Trail. We saw it as a means of providing a facility that could be used not just for recreation, but health-related benefits as we deal with obesity and other issues. So our planning was from the perspective of an alternative to on-road facilities.
So a lot of times here in the store, we encourage people, just go out there and see what happens. Don't have any set expectation for how far you're going to go, how fast you're going to go. Just get on the trail and have fun.
The scenery is probably why I started using the trail as much as I did. The murals, number one, are my absolute favorite thing, and they're constantly changing.
Not far from here, it's called Stonehenge Park. They have some beautiful murals painted on the bridges.
Stonehenge Park is like one of those really cool wonders of art, and it's just right here. Nobody knows about it.
So you'll have a cool blend between really fun art, awesome plants life. There's all sorts of berries and things growing I didn't know about back there. You learn a little bit more every time you go. Good morning. I love to specialize.
When I was working still, we did surveys along the trail, and on any given weekday, we found about 1/3 of the users were using it as a commute alternative.
If you've never tried the Pinellas Trail, I urge you to do so. You can walk it, you can run it, you can rent a bike at just about every few miles. You'll find a bike shop that's got bikes for rent.
And we've had people come in and verbalize like their thanks, but also like you just see them out there and they just look radiant. They look awesome and healthy, happy, and you can tell that they're glad they're doing what they're doing. We're just appreciative that we had a part in their success.
Trails give me the opportunity to really get out there and feel safe. There's bike lanes in some places, but to have a fully dedicated place, that helps a lot. It's more than just a long stretch of pavement, it's a community.
The trail is a wonder that brings everybody together.
I look at Woodlawn as probably the most neighbor-friendly, kid-friendly neighborhood that I've ever lived in. It's a wonderful neighborhood to grow up in. I wish I was a kid growing up in this neighborhood.
It's a real family-oriented community, super close to downtown, and it's just kind of one of those picturesque, nice, quaint little neighborhoods.
I think what was really cool about the neighborhood is it's different compared to a lot of the other neighborhoods where part of it is on the circle. So as soon as we drove in on the neighborhood looking for a house, I just knew that this neighborhood had kind of some extra character to it.
Woodlawn has got a circular style to it, design to it, and you can see from some of these old pictures that there really is a circle or an oval to Woodlawn neighborhood.
My favorite part of the day is driving home. You turn onto our street from MLK, and there's beautiful oak trees, blooming crepe myrtles, and then there's a park. We have a park just at the end of our street. So here in Woodlawn, we have 3 public parks within our community.
We use those parks a lot for our garage sale in the fall. There's cookouts that go on in those neighborhood parks, and they become very handy.
And that's where we have all of the holiday events, all of our neighborhood events, potlucks, things like that. But then on the weekends, you can just kind of go out there and hang out. So I worked out in the park, take my dog to the park. There's a basketball hoop for the neighborhood kids to hang out. Got it!
As the fall and into the winter and into the holiday season, every one of those little pocket parks gets used for certain events.
Christmas caroling going on during Christmas. There's an Easter egg hunt through the neighborhood. Halloween is huge in this neighborhood.
And then Halloween, you forget about it. It is crazy around here.
Woodlawn likes to party.
So, like everything, trees come and go, and a lot of the trees in this neighborhood are laurel oaks, and they've got a time period of about 70 years in their lifespan. And we realized early on that the trees in this neighborhood were going to go away. What we did several years ago as part of a grant is got additional oak trees planted in several of those quadrant parks, just to give a little shade so it's not as hot during the summer. And I would guarantee that 50 years from now, 100 years from now, the folks that are living here in these houses will be looking at those trees, wondering who planted them, and gosh darn it, they got to be getting old. Maybe we need to think about putting some new ones in.
There's so many generations of families here, old houses, new houses, young families, families that have been here for 20 years. But amidst all that, it's just a really cool community feel.
When we saw this house, as scary as it was, we knew it was the house just based on coming into the neighborhood and feeling so welcome.